You gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
Now, what the hell is going on in this photo right here? It's not even a photo. It's actually a 2-second clip. And now this is the thing. We already know we live in the day and age where there can be things that are AI generated, whether it's photos or videos. But there's a certain like aesthetic that an AI generated video would have. Now, when it comes to this video right here, I came across it on Twitter. I had to put that box over that part of him for YouTube reasons. But when it comes to AI generated videos, it usually lacks detail. And now the one thing that makes me think that this could possibly be like a leak in the films that Diddy be filming is just the fact that there's a camera here. As if he is literally in the act of filming some freak off for real. He's on top of this table doing some crazy ass, freaky ass emote. And then if we look over here in this corner, we're able to see these are 2 legs and heels. It's a 2-second clip, but you can see those 2 legs and heels move. Some weird shit. So if this right here is not AI generated, bro, we're getting a peek into what's really going on. Now, this is the thing. We have this video here of a lawyer that's explaining on how there are tapes that have been leaked and that they're being sold around Hollywood. So we're going to give this video right here a look along with a lot of other shocking videos you wouldn't even believe exist on the internet, bruh.
It's over. It's over. If this lawyer is correct and these claims that she just made is true, it's game over. Y'all got to check this out.
I just hired local counsel in California. We will be filing that lawsuit within the week. I also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes. Yes. The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before. So
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No, I
tape.
can't explain who the person
Come
was.
on, come on.
Profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape.
You can't be saying all of that and then not dropping names. What's this girl's name right here? I need to hit her up, get the details on this joint, bro. Come on now.
The person who is on
No, I can't explain who the person was, but
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it? Or
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video is pornographic in nature.
Damn. A higher profile than Diddy. Higher profile.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
Yeah.
rock with me. But just check it out. You need a lot of heat. A lot of heat. Yeah.
Heat? You mean that physically the place has to be hot?
You don't have no air conditioning.
No air conditioning?
No.
Why is that?
Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects, like...
This is an old interview of Diddy explaining his freak off parties and how he keeps women. Has researched.
you know, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable and loose. Builds up a nice little sweat.
That just sounds disgusting. What are you talking?
Depends on the way you look at it.
Depends. Oh, people start getting gets kind of sexy.
What's the problem? Please don't make me do that. This is the opportunity that you've been waiting for. You are now in the power position. You hold all the power in your ass. That's what we do. It's only a little bit in your ass. It's gonna die. You know what you signed up for.
So this is the ruling from my court.
This is not me. This is not me. They can say what they want, but this is not me.
Okay, baby.
Free ass.
remove him from the courtroom.
What they want, but this is not me.
It says, this is the F Diddy need 2 beds on a basketball court for. Diddy be getting his freak on anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if he filmed some crazy videos there too.
Wow.
With some cushions on the wall.
Have you ever got a visitor?
A visitor? Like somebody come to your house?
How can I explain this? When you're getting to certain levels and you're glowing up, somebody come see you.
And want to come talk to you?
Somebody come and see you to help you go to the next level. A lot of people, you know how you might see somebody that's not that talented or not that funny or whatever, and all of a sudden they be all the way up here and you trying to figure out how that happened. Now I'm gonna rephrase this question. Have anybody came to visit you?
Nah, hell nah. Nah. I don't think they gonna try to do that.
I'm just saying.
Hell no. I hope, don't do it, man.
Just saying,
please don't do that, man.
I'm just asking, man.
They do. I might say something.
He's a fucking. No, you can't.
You can't say. Yeah, they gonna try to.
I can't say too much, but I'm gonna say it.
I show up to this place. I always called it the Illuminati Hub. It was everybody in the fucking world that had some importance was in it. I learned later it was called Delilah, but I didn't know that's how LA moves. Like all these executives, they might compete with each other in daytime, but at nighttime they all frequenting and partying in the same spots. They talking business. I didn't know about networking like that. So I show up there because I was at Complex Con. I show up there with like my little chat nigga hoodie. That was my audience, like, you know, name. With like 12 people. I showed up there. Everybody's in suits. That's the first time I seen Steve Stout. Apparently, I never seen Ebro after that, but Ebro and Leslie was in the room too. Ebro, that guy was there. Somebody else from Sony was there. All the important people that you hear about, but you never see. That's why I called it the Illuminati meeting, because I couldn't believe that. Wait, all y'all powerful music people be in the same room? I thought it was beef. Because y'all artists beef with each other? It's not.
Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis getting divorced. Alright guys, the rumor is that Ashton and Mila have separated in preparation for all of the dirt that's about to surface involving Ashton at the Diddy parties. Diddy, Ashton, Mila, Demi Moore, Danny Masterson. There's so much to all of this, so stay with me. Let's start in 2002 with the Rosie O'Donnell interview.
And she was 14 when we started the show. I was like 19, right? Right. And they're like, okay, you guys are going to be making out in this scene. And I'm like thinking like, wait, this is like slightly illegal,
that's
right?
probably your first kiss ever, right? It was my first kiss. What's someone bet you made with Danny about our first kiss? I've never kissed a guy, so I was so, I mean, you know, Ash was attractive, and I was a 14-year-old little girl, and I was extremely scared for my life. Sure. Then Danny goes and goes, dude, I'll give you $10 if you French kiss her. What would you stick your tongue in my mouth or some?
What? No.
For $10.
You're making it sound like it was like really. Okay, Dan, we had a little side bet going.
Yeah.
Like,
which was? It wasn't very
as to whether or not, you're kissing on the show or boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah. You would use tongue.
First of all, Ashton said he was like 19. No, he was 20 when they were filming. Second, at one point he claimed he didn't know Mila's age at the time of filming that kiss. That's a lie. Third, Danny Masterson said what? Not surprised. Then, next year in 2003, Ashton and Diddy meet. Ashton said, quote, we became...
Bro, this Hollywood, whatever they got going on over there is just weird.
Fast friends. We would watch football together all the time. So Ashton started attending the Diddy parties in 2003. Now fast forward to 2005, Ashton and Demi Moore get married. Ashton continues to attend the Diddy parties, sometimes with Demi Moore. At this point, he's been smack dab right in the middle of all the freak-offs for about 6 consecutive years. Now fast forward to 2009, Ashton co-founded the anti-child abuse organization named Thorn. But was it all for show? Was he trying to preemptively throw off the scent of what he was up to at the freak-offs? Now fast forward to 2011. Ashton and Demi Moore announced their split. Then in 2015, Ashton and Mila get married. Now let's jump to 2019. Demi Moore releases her book and she shares a lot of tea. She said Ashton makes her have threesomes. She said Ashton forces her to drink or use, forcing her out of sobriety. And lastly, Ashton cheated on her multiple times. In this same year, Ashton does an interview And during the interview, he's asked about his relationship with P. Diddy, more specifically about the parties. Ashton sits there looking off into space, thinking out loud. He's like, yeah, those parties, well, I can't share that actually. I can't share that as well. No, I guess I can't disclose that either. And then he ends his thought by saying this.
Diddy party stories, man. That was like some weird memory lane.
Now jump to 2023, Danny Masterson heads to trial for, you know, doing something horrible to 2 women. Well, Ashton and Mila decided to write long, heartfelt character letters to the judge saying they considered Danny to be a great role model. Like, unbelievable. That doesn't do any good for Danny or Ashton. And Danny is sentenced to 30 years to life. Now, knowing what we know about Danny and what he did, why would Ashton write this letter to the judge? Is it because Ashton has a ton of skeletons in his closet that Danny knows about? And he came to bat for Danny to show him that he had his back and to remind him to not speak to anybody about anything? I think so. Obviously, Ashton and Mila got a lot of heat for these letters, and then Ashton steps down as chairman of the board of Thorn. And finally comes 2024, Diddy's home gets raided, thousands of FREAKOFF tapes are confiscated by the FBI, and Ashton has been laying low more than ever. Ashton, until you share all of those details you couldn't disclose in that interview about what went down at these FREAKOFFs, I believe you're just as slimy as Diddy and Danny.
Yo, look it. I already know these A-list celebrities that went to those parties with Diddy are shaking in their sleep. Bro, right now they're shaking out their boots right now. There's no other way to put it. Like, every day they're probably thinking about, yo, like, is he going to get released? What is Diddy about to do? Is he about to snitch? Is he about to, like, expose all of us? Like, I know a lot is going through their mind.
So we're all slightly concerned about tap water, but what about toilet paper? This isn't just apparently in the UK. It's across the whole world they're finding it. So toilet paper near you, watch out. It seems to come down to this one specific type of PFAS, which is called 6,2-DIPAP, which sounds like Elon Musk's new son's name or some. But it represented 91% of all the PFAS found in the toilet paper. I think the real problems once again occur when it comes to the environment. You know, they can't break down. You can't break these things down. They're there forever, and they get stuck in the soil, stuck in the waterways. They affect the fish, and they bioaccumulate, apparently is the technical word for it. So you know how we sort of have always seen toilet paper is relatively benign, and children are sort of wrapping themselves up on it, playing with it. But you know, maybe it might not be.
Y'all, I didn't believe in it. If it flies, it spies. Until this bird literally started talking this morning.
My gosh.
There's no way.
He's talking.
I wasn't crazy.
My gosh.
You know, maybe it might not be.
Oh my gosh. He's talking.
I wouldn't be surprised if the government was really doing this for real. Yo!
What the heck?
Did this nigga just say Mayday, Mayday? Yo, what's going on?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It just said take that, take that, take that. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, it's the fact that sometimes pigeons just be flying to my windowsill looking at me. I just be looking at them back. I'm like, yo, what's good? You know what I'm saying? What you want? You have everywhere to fly in the entire world, but you want to look through my window? Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know
tweet,
what
tweet, tweet.
Tweet, tweet. The bird is actually...
It is talking. I swear to God.
We have visitors.
Listen.
Oh. Yo, the bird just said I ain't talking. Nah, alright. Nah, I'm not bugging out. The bird literally just said I ain't talking.
He's so cute.
Is it real?
I don't know. Is it like a robot? Like, because that's a pretty good moving robot.
What?
Wait for it. Only in Florida. What the heck?
Our fruit flavors we're talking about, we want, you know, a burst in the beginning and maybe a finish that doesn't linger too much so that you want more of it.
And you don't want a long linger because you're not going to eat more of it if it lingers.
Ah, so it's going to be a quick fix. And then
have more.
And then have more. But that suggests something else.
Exactly.
Which is called addiction.
Exactly.
You're trying to create an addictive taste.
It's a good word.
Or something that they want to go back for again and again.
That's literally
Addiction. Bro, the way she tried to cover up addiction, like, or something that they just want to go back for again and again and again and again and never could live without it.
Oh my God, lose the airport.
Looking like Damn's
What
Monster
happened?
Inc. Someone's grandma left their legs open.
Here now is caused by the electricity grid, which is about 25% or so.
Exactly.
So 24%, it comes from agriculture and forestry. Why is that causing such a big increase in carbon?
Cows and other grass-eating species have a digestion system that emits methane. And methane is a very powerful greenhouse gas. And so cows alone account for about 6% of global emissions. And so we need to change cows, just cows alone.
How are we going to do that?
Well, actually, of all the categories, the one that has gone better than I would have expected 5 years ago is this work to make what's called artificial meat. And so you have people like Impossible or Beyond Meat, both of which I invested in.
You eat it as well, and you like it?
Absolutely.
You do.
You can go to Burger King and buy the Impossible Burger.
All right. Is it healthier for you or just healthier for the atmosphere?
But tell me why Bill Gates said absolutely. Bill Gates.
You eat it as well, and you like it?
Absolutely.
You do.
He nodded his head no, but said absolutely. I don't know. I'm more big on body language. And that's just me. At the end of the day, why does he want to change everything? We've been eating animals since the beginning of time. But now they want to start making artificial meat. And then at the same time, I know that he bought up all the fields. All the fields that grow crops. So he can do whatever he can manipulate them whatever way he wants to.
You can go to
not a good look.
Burger King and buy the Impossible Burger.
All right. Is it healthier for you or just healthier for the atmosphere?
It's slightly healthier for you in terms of less cholesterol. It's, of course, dramatic reduction in methane emissions, animal cruelty, manure management, and the pressure that meat consumption puts on land.
That is correct. The Hunger Games sign is the same as the Scouting sign. So let's do a deep dive into that, because what we're doing now is decoding signs and symbols. So this is from the Boy Scouts of America website, their official nonprofit website, and it talks about that the Freemason relationship with Scouting started from the beginning in the 1800s when the Boy Scouts were founded under the name the Society of the Sons of Daniel Boone. Then it became the Boy Pioneers, and then finally the Boy Scouts. So it says the 3 fingers represents the 3 parts of the Scout Oath. And then there's also the 2-finger sign, which is the Cub Scouts, but you do it in a V. And your thumb has to cover your pinky. Usually accompanies a Scout Oath. Also found it creepy that the founder was referred to as Uncle Dan. And it says here, the relationship between individual Masons and Scouting, which has existed since the founding of the Scouting in America, has resulted in great benefits for both Freemasonry and Scouting. Then, of course, I found this. Again, on the Boy Scouts of America site. So, in case there was any question, what would this be? Would this be like some kind of a feeder program? Perhaps some sort of a finders cult? Purely theory, speculation only.
You heard about the 2045 Initiative, a non-profit organization with hopes of extending the human lifespan using artificial intelligence. started by Russian billionaire Dmitry Iskov. He claims he can make all humans immortal. They have 4 major milestones in their plan. Number 1 was to create a remote control avatar. 2 was to ensure that the human brain could be transferred into that avatar at the time of a person's
Yo, bro, off rip, the first part of just having a remote control avatar, red flag. What is this?
Number 3 was to ensure that consciousness and personality could be uploaded to the avatar at the time of a person. Number 4 gets rid of the physical body. They hope the human race can live on in holographic form. This is getting sci-fi. If you've seen Black Mirror, you've seen them experiment with the idea of holographic consciousness. The 2045 initiative calls this idea cybernetic immortality. Billionaires like Jeff Bezos have funded similar ideas. Artificial humanoid avatars, brain-computer interfaces. What do you guys think about immortal life? Do you think that could help us get to the...
So apparently the CEO of BlackRock thinks the idea of you and me retiring at 65 is crazy. As in the man who became a billionaire managing people's retirement accounts. And the really messed up part is the way they use our money against us. Because they do something called ESG investing, which stands for environmental social governance. So if BlackRock doesn't like a company's stance on the climate, BlackRock won't invest in their stocks. And they're the largest asset manager in the world. They control $10.5 trillion in assets. And all of these big companies are in debt because falling stock prices could be devastating. And this stuff is like the mob because they partner with the Human Rights Campaign, who gives all of these companies a corporate equality index score. It's essentially a social credit score for corporations.
Well, let's see how long it takes you to find me. Thank you very much. Let's go.
$10.5 trillion is a lot of money. It says detention in 7 minutes with facial recognition system in China.
可以追溯到说，出现每一张脸都可以对应说他的身份证，以及他所经过，比方说在过去1周，我们回溯他的行经路程，我们也做了像人和车的匹配。那同时在人上匹配，还包括亲属关系匹配。然后是你经常接触人员之间匹配，就是当摄像机布到就或者我们传感器布到一定密度的时候，其实我们会经常知道你跟谁经常在一起。
Well, here we are then. I've just got out of the car, close to the city centre, and for the purposes of this exercise, the plan is for me to start walking in the direction of the bus station. My image has already been flagged to the authorities as a suspect, and in theory, it should only be a matter of time.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Right behind me, you can see just over my left shoulder there. Hello, guys. I've been expecting you. Maybe these guys aren't in on the joke.
This is so weird. The Göbekli Tepe. There's new stuff.
You won't be able to get away with anything at that point unless you just have a permanent face mask
coming out from that.
What?
So this guy who was on the Joe Rogan podcast, he's just like, isn't it kind of weird that this site was discovered in the 90s, but yet we've only dug up 5%. He did some digging. Guess who owns the Göbekli Tepe?
I bet BlackRock.
George Bush. MySpace Tom.
Was I right?
No.
Oh.
The World Economic Forum. The weirdos that say that you will own nothing and be happy. These guys that are like dictating everything about our world, they own Göbekli Tepe. And they said we will not excavate it anymore because we want to leave it for future generations.
That makes no sense.
We could find out so much more about the people or things that built this site. I really do feel like this site had something to do with the Watchers. What are they hiding? Do they know something about it? That they're just like, we can't expose this because could it give proof to all this ancient knowledge that would validate scripture, maybe? You know? And what this guy said is, our government will never acknowledge what they can't.
Did anyone else find the invitations to the all-white party extremely weird? This is the highest profile party in the world called the All-White Party. It's hosted by billionaire Michael Rubin and it happens every year on the 4th of July. But there was something about the invitations that just didn't sit right with me. This one is Tom Brady's, this one right here is Drake's, and this is Quavo's. You can see all of the celebrities' invitations if you just look them up. But if you pause and look at the artwork, there's some weird stuff going on. These invitations were done by George Condo. This is a very popular artist, and some of his artwork goes for millions of dollars, and he gave each celebrity their own unique invitation. And I looked up some of his artwork, and he has a lot of interesting stuff, including when he collabed with Kanye West for one of his album covers. He drew him up a bunch of artwork. Yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself. A lot of people question what actually goes down during this party, especially after they saw what Michael Rubin made Meek Mill do, jumping around like a bunny because he supposedly lost a bet. And then in the private jet, when Lil Baby and Meek Mill were saying that they were going to get drunken hugs if they don't behave at the party.
I don't care what anyone says. You're getting a drunken hug. You too. You two, drunken hugs.
All right, this is a very cool story. The Department of Defense Agency is developing new technology that is inspired by lizards.
Yes, indeed. Digital producer Alexander Bahu is here to explain what it is and how it can protect our troops.
You know what? Move over, Spider-Man. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, also known as DARPA, has created devices that will have humans climbing like geckos. DARPA launched the Z-Man program to develop a better way for warfighters to scale buildings and other obstacles. Researchers on the project were concerned ropes and ladders were dangerous and impractical while carrying heavy loads. That's why DARPA developed handheld biologically inspired climbing aids. They use micro and nano fabrication technologies to produce an aid similar to that of a gecko toe, but for humans. DARPA has tested out the reversible adhesives with a 218-pound climber ascending and descending on glass, while also carrying a 50-pound load. DARPA says these aids can have biomedical, industrial, and consumer applications.
Genetically engineered potatoes and apples already on the market. They use this double-stranded RNA produced by the inserted gene, and it silences the gene that causes those to brown if sliced. So you have the Botox apple, lies about its age, doesn't turn brown, so it could be 18 days old, 20 days old, cut, and you can eat it, and you won't know that it's old. When you eat that apple, the double-stranded RNA that's built into the apple could reprogram and silence our own genes. We know what happens interspecies. In fact, they fed a double-stranded RNA meal to young honeybees in larval stage and then checked their DNA expression twice late in 2 different periods a few weeks later. They were expecting nothing to happen because they wanted this particular double-stranded RNA to be the control. 1,400 genes changed expression. 1,400, 10% of the genome.
But that's literally why I do my best to just get everything organic meat, grass-fed meat, organic fruits, because all this modification stuff modifies you.
We're different in the group that was fed one meal. You can feed double-stranded RNA to mice and change something in their liver. We know that it can affect humans. In fact, how we know that the that the RNA in general from the plants that we eat can help program the DNA expression, and it's part of the intelligence transfer between the food we eat and our own genetic expression.
No!
Oh my
Please.
goodness.
What the hell?
Oh. I want to throw up. Go show it to him.
Well, sweetie,
That joint is huge.
they just need to know where they got it from.
That's huge. That's an abnormally large.
About Pluto. So the planet Pluto is not named after the dog, even though the dog and the planet were named like
The same time?
like the same year, which is weird. But isn't it funny how nobody thinks it's weird that Walt Disney named a dog after the ferry boat guy to hell or to death? I mean, that's what Pluto is. I mean, he basically is like Hades. Like, he takes the soul to hell, to the underworld. And so that's what the dog's name. What else is that cat in Cinderella is named Lucifer?
Lucifer! Let him go, Lucifer!
Oh, yeah.
That's weird. Just think about the Smurfs. So you have Gargamel, which sounds an awful lot like Gadriel. And what's his cat's name? Azrael.
Cat's name is Azrael in that?
Yeah, his cat's name is Azrael.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Gargamel and Azrael.
Oh my gosh, and the Smurfs?
That sounds an awful lot like Gadriel and Azazel.
What? I never even put that together. That's interesting.
Processed food industry was created by the cigarette industry. People don't know this, but in 1990, the 3 largest processed food companies were cigarette companies: Philip Morris, R.J. Reynolds, and others. Still to this day, Philip Morris owns Kraft. Most of the companies were spun out in the 1990s, but cigarette companies literally took their scientists, as cigarette companies were declining, and put them over to food companies to make the food more addictive. And all those thousands of ingredients that we have in our food are made to addict our children. It's hijacking our biology and our understanding of like what we're eating. You don't binge on natural food because our bodies are made over thousands of years to be with this food.
Yeah.
But processed food is not natural. It's hijacking our biology.
Going to want to hear this. Don't you think
It makes you feel like as if you're not full. And then just to know that they intentionally put addictive substances in it is even crazier.
odd that Alaska is part of the United States of America? The real reason is far darker and more complex than you have been led to believe. Deep within Alaska, there is a black pyramid, an ancient structure that is buried beneath the ground, emitting powerful energy. In 1992, an earthquake in China revealed this pyramid near Mount McKinley. This discovery was picked up by spy satellites, revealing its location to external nations. Indigenous Alaskan tribes also speak of a powerful sacred structure which fits the exact same description as the structure captured on the satellite. But it gets even crazier. According to ancient scripts, the Black Pyramid is part of a global network of ancient energy generators. These pyramids were scattered around the world by a civilization that used to walk with the gods. The purpose was to harness and distribute energy across the world. The same network includes the Great Pyramid of Giza. Since the founding of the United States, extra effort was placed into colonizing Alaska with the aim to reverse engineer the pyramid's technology for modern use.
In jar biocomputers are now.
My thing is, how does a pyramid even harness energy? I need to do more research on that because it seems as if these ancient tribes and civilizations did it intentionally and all over the world.
Now real, and they can learn to control robotics. This literal brain in a petri dish was able to control the toy robot mech that it was hooked up to, which is just wild to me. So what you're looking at in this slightly gross image is actually an organoid. It's an incomplete organ, but can still perform the functions of an organ, and it is grown in a lab, and the brain cells are actually embedded in it. I believe the organoid's purpose is to insulate or protect the brain cells in some way, and the brain cells are hooked up to this sensor mechanism. You can even see the ribbon right there, and if I scroll down, at the bottom we have this sensor hooked up to the human brain cells that are inside of the organoid. So when they fire, these sensors register and the robot walks around. Now what's crazy about this is they actually weren't just doing that one purpose. They were sort of put in there generally, and as a neural network, we're trained in a way very similar to how we train neural network AIs to do this task. I do feel like this one on the end that has the enclosed helmet that isn't just going to dry out is doing better, but this is just absolutely wild that we have created a miniature artificial brain that can at least drive around that mech, which is nutty. You might have seen the guy who could play Pong with the brain implant. And scientists are saying that this shows more intuition, insight, and creativity to how our brains work than traditional AI. They think this is actually going to replace what we traditionally know of AI, and they say it might be better because it uses less electricity, but wetware components have to be kept alive. And letting these things sit out and dry isn't going to do that. So there's a whole different set of technical problems to solve to keep the wetware components alive and functioning. And even in a ideal scenario, I doubt that they are.
Hey, I feel like at this point they've been doing everything just to change the food that we're eating, change AI. Like we're in 2024. You got these celebrities getting exposed. A lot of things are getting exposed, and that's the beauty of the internet, is just the fact that we're able to see and know what's going on if you really want to know what's going on. But comment down below that first image / video that we watched of Diddy up there on that table. Do y'all think that's AI, or do y'all think that's actual leaked footage from a FREAKOFF as this lawyer was just explaining? So comment that down below, smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Peace.